Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking about an alternate universe where Scarlet was a good adopted mom to Peril. But before we get into that, I think we can all agree she was a terrible dragon and wasn't even an adopted mom as it was. She used Peril as a weapon instead of seeing her as her own person, or a dragon in this case. But with all that done and said, let's hop into the alternate universe. Scarlet knew that not all the eggs in the hatchery had parents, and she especially knew that the fire scale that just hatched would certainly never get adopted. So, she took the dragonette in as her own. She made sure that the dragonette got everything that she needed, and although it was challenging to not get burned every time she tried to feed the little thing, she tried her best. As the years went on and her arena prevailed, her daughter Peril wanted to participate in the arena more than anything. But Scarlet wouldn't have this. Scarlet had one rule, and that was to not be in the arena. She didn't want her daughter to get hurt. Or, more accurately, she didn't want her daughter to hurt other people. She was acutely aware of Peril's powers, and although she tried her best to minimize the damage, there was only so much you can do. But as the years went by, Peril asked more and more about being able to participate in the arena. Scarlet stood strong. She didn't want to be that parent that let her kid fight, especially not when her kid could literally burn somebody alive. She knew that the dangers of the arena were more of her Peril being dangerous than the other dragons. But Peril was her baby. She couldn't stand anything happening to her. So, instead, she went off to find some animus magic of some sort, or an animus to perform a spell. She'd known that animus magic could do something like this, but she knew that there were no Skywing animi. While she was out on her mission, though, Peril was hanging out in the arena when she met the DoD, Dragonettes of Destiny. As the Dragonettes started talking, Peril longed for the freedom that she never had. Scarlet was a great mom, but Peril always felt restrained to the palace, not being able to have the freedom that she desired. So she went off with Clay and the other Dragonettes. Clay was kind, he let her make her own choices. Scarlet never let her make her own choices. It was nice to be out of the palace for once. And although she had to be careful where she stepped because she could light the grass on fire or the trees or the other Dragonettes, or really anything around her, she was happy that she had some freedom. She was planning on going back. That was always the plan. But days turned to weeks, and weeks turned to months. And she just kept saying that she'd go back eventually. Meanwhile, Queen Scarlet was flying off the hook. She didn't know where Peril was, and she was terrified. She sent out many troops to search for Peril. She wasn't sure what mischief Peril would get into, or what dangers she'd come across. She didn't know what to do. Was Peril okay? Were the people around Peril okay? Could Peril be able to get food without everything catching on fire? She had so many questions, and although in her heart she knew that Peril was okay, she couldn't just sit around and do nothing. Eventually, the troops found Peril, and Peril explained what she had been doing and why she was out and about. She went back to see her mother to explain as well. And although Queen Scarlet wasn't very happy with her, she understood. And she let Pearl go off on her adventure as long as she visited every so often. And so she did. I think this was a pretty good story of if Scarlet was a good mother. Clearly, Pearl in this universe doesn't have issues with understanding social normities as much as she does in the original series, but she still doesn't quite understand them because instead of Scarlet being a dictator, she's now being an overprotective helicopter mom. And I think we all know that this would never happen. It was still fun to theorize about. And I actually got this idea from a meme I saw a while ago. Now, I'm going to talk about my drawing process for this drawing that I've been drawing throughout this. I just said drawing so many times. Oh my gosh. I wanted to try something a little different. I wanted to give not just a background to the character. I wanted to have things interacting with her. Usually if I have a character, they're just standing still with a background, or maybe if I'm feeling really up for it, they have a cool pose and they're flying or something. But they don't usually interact with the background very much. So I took inspiration from Cypress, so another Wings of Fire creator, and I created this piece of art. I based it off of both her design and the portrait that's shown in the canon version of Scarlet's Palace. Drawing this was a whole lot of fun. I tried to put a whole lot of detail into it while still doing a full body. This is probably the most detail I've put into a full body since my character redesign. And I really enjoyed doing this, and I want to try to do more complicated designs like this more often. Although if I had to do this one again, I definitely would have just changed a couple things, tweaking things here and there. Especially the colors. I'm not super happy with how they came out, and I don't feel like this is as recognizably Scarlet as I would have liked. Also, I would have given her way more bling, because Scarlet is always described to have jewelry on. Almost always. Her entire theme is essentially is Evil Queen, but with lots of jewelry. But other than that, I had a lot of fun with this, especially with the rock texture, because I put a lot of effort into it, trying to make it look realistic, quote unquote, or I think the better term would be pleasing to look at, while still being dynamic. I didn't just want it to be a chair or a throne or a rock. I wanted it to be just very purposeful, if that makes sense. I also was experimenting with some other brushes to make smoke for Scarlet, because she's always described to have smoke curling around her horns. Overall, I think this is one of the best pieces I've made so far, but I want to keep pushing how far I can go with my art, because I think it's more fun to have an ever-evolving style than just a static one. If you guys liked today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below what you'd like to see next. Bye!